it's Zach. Welcome back to the Heroverse. And guys, this is Legacies, Season 4, Episode 13, called Was This the Monster You Saw? I'm going to let Annie go first, as she usually does in these reviews. Annie, what did you like about this episode?
I'm glad Ulrich is back.
Yeah, it was good to see him back, finally. I was really happy to see him that, it was kind of like they were doing a welcome back party, which I thought was funny.
Mm-hmm.
The main funny thing I liked about it, though, about the welcome back party, is that Jed was trying to use the it was like a stake shooting device, and it was like a stake shooting minigun, but he made it into like a confetti gun. I thought that was cool.
Was it?
Yeah, it was like a stake shooting gun, but I guess instead they turned it into like a confetti minigun, like to shoot it out. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I thought that was cool. And we get a little bit more, of course, with Ben and Jed. And Ben, as we know from the previous episode, Jed was told, I forget who, that he kind of likes Ben. Do you remember who he told? I remember he said somebody.
I think it was to Finch.
Was it to Finch? Yeah, you might be right. And pretty much he's kind of still nervous because he wants to tell Ben in this episode that he likes him. And again, I still think that's too fast. I don't know why the writers... Because that plot line came out of nowhere, and I just don't know. It seems really quick to tell someone that you like them, especially you barely still know them. But whatever. It's Legacies. It's not like they've done stupid shit before here on this show, so I'm just like, okay, whatever. I didn't really care much about that, but other than that, like, what else did you like about the episode 80? That was my takeaway from that part.
I like how that when Jed got bit by the monster or whatever, he had a flashback of him and his friend, and his dad wanted him to kill his friend. Yeah, because he triggered his curse, but in the end, Jed ended up killing his dad.
Yeah, instead of the friend, which I was happy about, because I was like, okay, like, you didn't actually go through with that, right? Like, even anyways, he didn't really technically have to kill his dad. He could have just ran away with his dad with a call up to him. So I understand, like, I guess that was the only way he could do that. I was like, oh, you guys just run. But I thought at the same time, how are you able to kill your dad if you weren't, like, if he was a full werewolf and you weren't yet, how were you able to, like, kill him? You know what I mean? I know, but, like...
He beat him to, like, death.
But he must have been sleeping, because there's no way a 13-year-old kid would be able to do that with his dad just seeing him like that. See what I'm saying? Like, he's a full-on werewolf. His dad would have been able to quickly grab it from him and then push him away. So he must have been sleeping. So that plot kind of didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, okay, this doesn't make sense that he wouldn't have enough strength to do that, really, because he's not a full-on werewolf yet. Like, he doesn't have the werewolf strength until you become a werewolf. So I was like, that kind of doesn't make sense to me, but okay, I'm happy he didn't kill his friend, though. It's just that didn't make sense to me. His dad must have been sleeping, because there's no way.
He said his dad
he would just, like, what, he just jumped over the fire, cracked his dad, and his dad died? That makes no sense. He'd have to be sleeping for him to do that. But that wouldn't make any sense either, that they would just let him walk away from that situation without him doing it right then and there. So that kind of doesn't make sense. I think that was kind of like a little plot hole right there, because that just doesn't make sense to me. But I do like, again, that he didn't kill his friend, he killed his father. I was like, okay, good. Like, your father was a monster, so, okay, yeah.
Yeah, his father was abusive and a bully.
So, yeah, I thought that was good that he didn't kill his friend, because I was worried about that, too, that he went through with it. I was like, oh, damn. But, yeah, it was also nice to learn more about Jed's past, because we don't really know. And I like how Jed even explains, like, oh, I was a bully at first, but, it took me until now to realize that, I did like my friends, I guess, more than us just being friends. And,
yeah.
And he's kind of he's finally realizing that, he had feelings for his friend and stuff. So that was cool to see that a little bit. I just wish they would have dabbled on that a lot sooner in the series, because I feel like it just came out of nowhere. But it is what it is. Well, I mean, it just came out of nowhere. They could have just dabbled on that sooner. I think that's just crappy storytelling from the writer's perspective on that. They should have hit that sooner. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, you can't, like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. But, other than that, though, I mean, I loved the Lizzie and Aurora storyline where, like, they're kind of, like, Lizzie was kind of, like, being Aurora's therapist, and they got her a slushie at the gas station. That was cool. I liked that. It was nice to see them, because I feel like they do have a lot in common.
I liked when Hope got bit by the monster, she went flashback to when she killed Landon, but she had a whole different perspective on how she did it. She's like, oh, I'm not gonna kill a boy I love, whatever. And then Hope comes in and she's like, that's not how it happened. You're not real, blah, blah, blah. But that Hope that was Landon is her humanity.
I loved that. Yeah, that was probably like one of my favorite parts about this episode because
I'm tired of her not having humanity. She's back on.
And I was talking about this to Annie. Like, we've gone so long with her being like this and having her humanity turned off. I was like, come on now. I'm like, there should have been like a couple of things back in the previous episodes that should have turned it back on. I just don't understand what's taking. I know what's going on. The writers are going to make it where like it might not be. Again, because we find out at the end of this episode that we think that it's the saliva from that monster biting them is what gave them their like them going down like their worst nightmares, and Doctor Rick has the idea of like getting Hope to get bit and that would turn back on her humanity, but what ends up happening is she does end up getting bit. And it's Caleb, MG, and it's Wade are the ones that are trying to get her in the position because they end up finding out that the fire attracts the clown, and that's the big villain of today's episode is a clown. So
last night's episode.
This big episode was a clown. Yeah, it was like and they
it was like really really scary version of Pennywise.
I don't find clowns scary, and I just thought the dumbest line was when they first know what the thing is when Ben goes out in the forest and then Jed follows Ben saying, oh, you can't be out here like by yourself. He's like, oh, Ben's like, I'm not putting anybody else in danger. Just chain me up here. And then what? Jed's like, oh, so you can just get tortured? And he's like, yeah, that's what I do. And then there's a moment where Jed gets bit, of course. He gets out of commission. He's going through all the big, his worst, he's going against his worst, his worst nightmare of what happened in his life, and that's when Ben gets a clear image on what the monster is, and then that's when MG and Wade come in saying, oh, is this the monster? And he's like, yeah, what is that fat, like scary looking creature? And they're like, oh, it's the scariest creature of them all.
I hate clowns.
A clown. I'm like, oh, bro. I was like, come on. Why'd you have to like try to make it sound like that? It's the worst. It's the scariest creature of them all. It's a clown. I'm like, nah, bro. Like, no. I was like, I wasn't feeling that line. So this is goofy.
When you were little, my dad had him. He was little. He had this like sprinkler clown head looking thing.
Oh my god, Amy, that was not scary, bro. Like, who are these talking about?
I was scared of it. Like, I mean,
no. That was a clown that was not scary at all. That clown thing.
Did you not see it?
I saw it, Annie. It was not the way you're making it sound. It was like one of those,
sprinkler. You put the hat on it.
If anybody knows what we're talking about, it was back in the day. They had like a sprinkler clown head. It would, it was a clown head that did sprinkled.
When you put the hat on it,
when you put like a hose and it would just shoot out, sprinkles. It was a sprinkler, yeah, like for kids and stuff. It was not scary. If I could find a picture, I'll try to pop it up here, but it wasn't scary. It's like a little like it was no. Maybe I guess Annie. Well, it could have been scary to you, but it wasn't. It was not scary though. It was like goofy. It wasn't scary.
It was a scary freaking clown head.
But I just thought that was cringy. That line, or like it's the scariest creature of them all. A clown, and they were comparing it to Pennywise. I mean, this clown did look like it got dropped in battery acid. Like, it looked disgusting. And also looked like it literally was swimming in feces, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it looked disgusting, but I was like, nah, that's not scary, though.
Pennywise lives in the sewer.
No, Pennywise the clown isn't scary to me, but it looked a lot scarier than this clown, in my opinion. Because it had two sides. But this one just was like, But the Pennywise likes to act all innocent, and then it goes,
I'm scared of Pennywise.
I'm not. I laugh at movies like that. I mean, this is... No. I don't know if anybody knows, but I don't find things, like, scary. I just find a lot of things... I find, like, more... More, like, psychological, more realistic things scary than... Stuff like that.
Would you be scared of killer clowns? Were you scared around that time?
Huh?
Remember when they had killer clowns all around in different places? There were some in, like, downtown and stuff?
I don't remember that.
It was back in 2016.
I don't know. No, I'm not scared of clowns. I'm not scared of clowns in general. I think that was around the time of It, like when that was like a big thing where people would just wear clown masks. I think I remember that. Yeah.
Did it come out in 2016?
I think so. The first one, 2015 or something like that. But yeah, I thought it was goofy when they dropped that line. I was like, okay, the clown. But also that doesn't make sense to me. Because the villain was this girl that made notes. That was like a witch that made notes and that would make monsters come to life or something.
Yeah, and burn.
So what I didn't understand is that in the beginning of the episode, back in the whenever, like the
180,
we see
Roman Village.
This pumpkin head monster like scarecrow thing, and I thought that was going to be the villain. But when we get a clown in this episode, I was like, okay, that kind of doesn't add up. But whatever. Because I really thought they were building up that would be the villain, not a clown, but whatever. It was a fine villain. At the end of the day, I just thought it was kind of like, it was just everyday villain of the week. I was like, okay, or like monster of the week. But I liked the story. The best part of this story was the whole Lizzie becoming like the whole, therapist for Aurora, them giving each other advice back and forth.
The heretics aren't nice, and Lizzie is
isn't sometimes not nice to begin with. Like, that's not new, but
she is, but like heretics just aren't nice in general, and she's like one of those heretics that's nice, but none of them are nice at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see the difference. It's like she's acting like the way she usually acts.
I don't like. There was a heretic in season 7 that I didn't like. Her was Nora Hildegard.
Okay.
I didn't like her. I showed you her. You know who she is.
Yeah.
I didn't like her. She was mean, and her and her girlfriend always heard her and they had to like be mean to her and abuse her. And
what did you think about the Cleo stuff? I liked it.
I felt bad because her powers aren't
like they're like glitching out.
Yeah.
And I do feel bad because we don't know what Aurora did to her. But, like...
Wait,
didn't she, like, break one of the things that gives her muse within her? I think she broke that thing and they need to fix it. I don't know. I don't know how she was even... Aurora... Well, I still don't know how Aurora was even able to do that. Because she does not have any witch capabilities. She's just a vampire.
And she knocked her off the table.
And, like, she was able to... Yeah, like, I just don't understand how she's able to do that. But we gotta get an explanation of what's going on with Cleo's powers. Cleo doesn't even know. And Cleo was worried that, like, who am I without my abilities? That was sad.
She's trying to put up the banner, like, looking back to her Sultan for a lark.
And it just went...
Yeah.
And just fell down.
Yeah. And then Caleb had to put it up.
And, I mean, Caleb is the one thing that's making, I think, Cleo feel like, I would be okay. He'll help me figure out who I am until he locks her up trying to protect her on the whole Dr. Saltzman plan. But even MG, I think, compelled Dr. Saltzman to keep him inside so he would stay out of the way because he's injured.
Rick still has remain in his body, though.
Yeah. Rick, he's still got his, though, how bad is it? Because I was talking to Annie in the episode where, Rick comes in and Hope is there. And how is it to see how is it for you to walk in after being in a coma to walk in and see the person that kicked your shit in? He just walks in, sees the person that kicks his shit in. He's like, oh,
I feel like
I was like, damn, I feel bad for the dude. And also he's hobbling in there with the cane, but he got a baller cane though. It's like a sword. That was sick.
So
I was like, that's fire. I was like, because I knew right away when he got the cane it was a sword. I knew it. I was like, that's a sword.
He can't even use it as a sword because his back is fucked up.
Yeah, he got shit rocked. And I don't know if, and the doctor said, when he told Hope, he's like, why are you even here? You'll be, the doctor said I'll be lucky if I can even, I was lucky enough if I could even walk. And he barely can walk. I'm wondering if I don't even know if that's ever going to go away. Probably not. He got shit kicked in bad. So, I don't know. I do feel bad for Rick, because damn, that sucks.
She's on his spine, damn.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. He might be walking like that forever, which... I feel like someone's got a cure for that. You can't magic it, and I don't know. Maybe you can.
Props to Matt for doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's good acting right there. But I don't know. Do you think there's you can magic it?
No.
And fix it, or do you think it's just permanent?
I think it's permanent.
I don't know. we'll have to wait and see. Watch them be able to fix it. Crazier things have happened.
They probably have a lot of physical therapy.
If they can bring people back from the dead, I bet you they can fix someone's alignment of their spine. I don't know.
Have to do a lot of physical therapy. But
either way, another thing I liked too was again like what you said about like when Hope got the saliva in her system to make her have her nightmare of like of her killing Landon, but that part of her not killing Landon and finding another way, saying I won't kill the boy that I love. And she's like, again, like you said, that's not. Hope came in and said that's not how it happened. And she's like, is it? Or like that's the way it could have happened, and you know it. And I'm not gonna let you run away from me. I am
your better half.
Yeah, I am your better half. I am the real Hope Michelson. And I just love how even when the saliva, even when they killed the clown in the episode, the other better half of Hope is still there, and she even said that, saying, I'm not going away. I'm gonna. You can't get away from me that easily. Exactly, which I was happy about. So that should be interesting.
I'm gonna get back to you.
That should be interesting to see that the right half of Hope try to get rid of the turning off your humanity half of Hope. And I'm not gonna lie, I really was afraid when we saw that shadow. I thought that was like Landon. At first, I was like, please tell me, God, that's not Landon. And it's going to be his ghost, like, telling her, and then he'll come back, and then that's when she'll turn. I'm so worried that's what's going to turn back on her humanity is Landon.
I'm happy either way. If it was
I will not be happy if that's what happens. You guys know I've been saying that. It's just crappy writing if that's what happens.
I would have been really happy if it was Landon because, like...
I mean, she'll find out soon that Landon is, like, he can come back because if Rick was able to... I mean, if Rick wasn't dead... But what's-his-face was almost able to come back, and so but he screwed up Ted's plan to come back and made it so he can only bring back Landon with that wish. And he will never use that wish, probably. And my theory is that Landon's going to annoy him so much that he'll just send Landon. Like, he'll just be like, oh, there you go. I'm done. I can't take him anymore.
Or Landon.
Because Landon said he's like, I'm half glass, kind of full kind of type of guy. Like, this won't bother me. I can help people down here. Same as I help people up there. So, I mean, I think that alone, him, like, taking the best of it, is what's going to just piss off Ted. It's going to piss off the Necromancer, a.k.a. Ted, and he's just going to send him up.
He's not a Necromancer anymore.
He's still a Necromancer. He's not Ted anymore. Remember, he transformed into the Necromancer? Because that was a part of the thing that Rick used one of his things for, was to bring him back as the Necromancer.
Why does he keep doing that to himself?
I don't know. All I know is that I'm excited to see where that will go, but we didn't get Landon in this episode. It was kind of like a Landon-free episode and a Necromancer-free episode. I think we'll see them probably in next week or the week after.
We had like a little bit of Landon.
We didn't get any Landon in this, except that one part when I guess technically Landon-free still. Like, I wouldn't consider that anything to do with Landon really, because it's like not even real. That's all in her head. Which makes sense because that's where the good side of Hope is in her head. So I like that. I thought that was pretty clever. It was just a good episode with that and the Cleo stuff and the whole Lizzie.
The whole episode was good.
I don't like that one. I don't like how we're really diving deep in the God stuff. As you guys know, I just don't like it. I'm annoyed. And we find out that Jen girl, the one girl that looked like she's a stoner, like at the college, that ran away from Lizzie and Hope, she is the creator of those coffins, and she had like 3 or 4 other coffins in this, like, in her one. It looked like it was like a, what was it? I can't even think of the word for it. Like, what is it? Where you take your car to get fixed. Mechanic place. It looked like a mechanic place.
Auto mechanic.
Yeah, auto mechanic place, and she had like the other sarcophaguses in there, but there was a trap that Lizzie got, like, Lizzie found like a booby trap and was like trapped behind like this cage. It was like in this little like container, all the like the sarcophaguses, and she walked in there. The thing went down, and then there was like a spike thing about to like hit her in the back. But and that's when Aurora walks in after Lizzie, and she's like, "Oh, well, you fell into a trap." And she's like, "That's because you followed me here, and I fell into the booby trap before you did. Who needs who now?" Because clearly they fought about who needed who. And like Aurora said something that was really like rough for Lizzie to hear, but it's kind of true that any situation Lizzie likes to be the one that feels like she's the more dominant one.
But she ends up saving.
But you know what I mean? And she's like, and ends up she wants to be needed. And that's same with Aurora. She likes to be needed. Even though I guess Aurora said that at one point, she's like, I don't need to be needed or whatever. Like, I'm fine on my own, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. But I liked how they're kind of like the same and they're learning from each other. And I just like what we're doing here with them on their trip. I liked it more than Lizzie and Hope on their trip because that was just weird. I just didn't like it. Mm-hmm. I didn't like especially the whole,
If Harry and Mandy on
the blood bond that they had. I hated that.
I would have liked it more if Pip had Mandy on. I would like
that. And they went on a trip?
Yeah.
That would be cool. I miss the old Hope. Honestly, I just can't stand this Hope. Especially it's been going on for too long,
like I said. There's a lot of sires. There's a lot of, I can't remember, there was a scene in Vampires where, like...
What was the branding that Aurora did on Lizzie? Apparently it was like what? It was a pact that they made,
it was like a weird scar kind of.
It was like a spell it was like a pact spell that they have to go through with what they had planned or something.
I guess, but
that's interesting. I wonder.
It's there forever though.
And they did mention like, I had like if I didn't tell you the right spell to say, you probably would have tricked me. Who knows? Lizzie could have still tricked her somehow, some way. But if not, that's gonna suck that you kind of have to go through with it now. You can't undo it.
When she went to attack with his armor, like, hurt her because it was, like, a burn.
Yeah, so who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But I'm just excited to see what's going to happen going forward. Again, I also miss Josie. I miss the actor that plays Josie.
I miss her, too.
Like, I don't know how they're going to do this series without her. It doesn't work. I just don't know.
Well, I haven't never confirmed.
I mean, already enough. Like, the school feels so empty still.
Are we confirmed for season 5?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it, but we'll see by the end of this. But, I don't know. Pretty damn good episode, besides some things I just didn't like. And, again, the whole storyline with the gods is just I'm not liking it. Yeah. I'm excited for next week, though, because there's a device that is, like, because, we end up ending this episode where, like, Hope wants the people at the Salvatore School to help her. She needs, like, an army to fight the gods. And, Rick said, look, like, it's either our way or you can leave. We don't need you, but we would like to have you here, but we don't need you, though. So, I like how, like, she's staying at the Salvatore School, Hope.
In her old room.
And, that's when we do see the other half, the real Hope Michelson that's in her head of, like, the one that can actually think things through and make plans. And that's going to haunt her. And next week, I'm excited because, again, there's this device that lets them, like, see their outcome of how they attack the gods to see if they're going to survive or not, which I think is cool. It's kind of like the I can't even think of the top of my head what I'm trying to think of. I don't know. But, like, I like it. It's kind of like getting them prepared. I like how they're able to, like, think out their strategy before they go through with it. I think that's going to be interesting next week. So I am pretty excited for next week's episode. Also, we didn't see Finch in this episode. Apparently, she went to go get a cake.
Or Ethan. So apparently, Finch and Ethan went to go get a cake for Dr. Saltzman, right? Rick, Dr. Saltzman, whatever. Alark.
But I am just excited to see next week. I'm super excited to hear what you guys thought about this episode. Do you guys kind of feel the way we're feeling about the episode and the season so far with the God storyline?
And if you know that our Lord fans, if you're happy he's back.
Let us know if you're happy Rick is back. Also, where do you guys think the rest of the season is going to go? Do you guys think the more sane Hope half that's trying to get back into control of this crazy Hope half, do you think that's what's that other side of her, like the more the real Hope is gonna convince the crazy Hope to go back to the way she was? Or do you think it's going to be Landon that's what's going to turn back on her humanity? I don't want that, but I'm afraid that's what's going to happen.
I don't really care which one it is. I mean, I would be happy if it's Landon, but I don't care if it's his other
It's just so like, oh, wow, who didn't see that coming? That's why I don't want it. And because it's like always, Landon's always the one that saves Hope somehow.
Yeah.
Or like when I'm
happy for the scenes.
Let's pray it's the other way, but yeah.
I'm happy for the scenes, but he's not for the scenes.
But yeah, guys, that was the video. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, put on those notifications, like this video. We'd love to have you guys here, part of the family, part of the channel. We're all about spreading love, positivity, and motivation. And guys, we're almost, again, to 500 subscribers. I would really appreciate it. Again, if you have come across my videos before, if you guys just, hit the notification bell, hit the like on my video, that would really be much appreciated. And also, come join the fam here. I would love to have you guys here. And again, what did you think about this episode? I'm really curious to know. Also, yeah, for people that didn't know, I didn't post Legacies yesterday because Morbius came out yesterday. Which, more I think about it, go check out my, Morbius. If you guys have seen Morbius, go check out my spoiler review. If you haven't seen Morbius yet and you're planning on seeing it, go see the movie and go check out my spoiler review. It's up on the channel right now. But I'm just happy that we were able to get out the, this episode, season 4, episode 13 review for you guys. But yeah, guys, that was the video. We hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.